Hello everyone, today I would like to show you how to model some parts of this weapon, this gun. The idea is to show you not to model the entire gun. Instead, we are going to model some parts of the weapon, so you can learn how to model hard surface modeling. We are going to start using the very basic tools, very basic modeling tools, and then we're going to use them for modeling different parts of the weapon. I want to show you that the gun, the weapon, is made of different parts. This is the same gun, but break apart. So we're going to start learning the most basic modeling tools with polygons, and then we're going to practice making some of these parts. We are not going to make all the parts because it's going to be a really long video, and I think with the once you understand how to do one thing, you're going to be able to do it for the rest of the parts of the weapons or whatever weapon you want to model. So let's get started.
Subscribe now.
So the first thing we're going to do is to show you the basic tools for modeling. I'm going to add, for instance, a plane. Here is my plane. There we go. We're going to enter to edit mode in this button, edit mode, and here you can select vertices like so and move them, right? Or you can select the edges and move them. I want to show you with wireframe mode so you can see it better. There we go. And you can also select faces or polygons, trees, or quads, and also you can rotate them, move them, scale them, and so on. Okay, so you can select, you can change different type of selection like vertices, edges, or faces. Here we have the move, rotate, and scale buttons, so you can move, rotate, or scale with the gizmo, okay, or rotate. I'm going to select an edge so you can see how we can rotate the edge, or you can also scale. All right. Okay. This you can do it with the buttons, or you can do it with shortcuts. The shortcuts are G for grab, R for rotate, and S for scaling. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to use some of the modeling tools that are right here. We are going to see extrude, inset, bevel, loop cut, and knife, and I think that's it. With those tools, we are going to be able to model whatever we want. Okay, so let's start with the extrude. If I select a face like so and select the option extrude, this gizmo will appear, and if I press over the circle, I am going to able to extrude the face. So before we had a plane, and now we have a cube. If I continue pressing, I can add a lot of extrusions. I can extrude like so, and that's it. This is the extrusion. Another useful thing about extrusion is that I can extrude also edges. Select the edge and click and drag inside the white circle, and you will be able to extrude the edge. So in this case, I'm creating new planes, new polygons, new faces, but the object is still a plane, right? Another thing that I can do with extrusion is select a vertex, and I can extrude only a vertex. As you can see, select the vertex, click and drag, and you can extrude the vertex. Right now, maybe it's a bit confusing to extrude only a vertex, but believe me, this is going to be very useful in the future. And then if you want to create the polygon, create the face, just select the 4 vertices, press F in the keyboard, and Blender will create the face. That's it. Let's see how works inset faces. In this case, select the option that enables you to select faces. Select one face. Here, just inside the circle, click and drag, and this is like the extrusion, but it will do it in the same place, and it will create like a border around the polygon. This is with one polygon, and if you select several polygons and do it, and if you do it again, it will treat the 3 polygons as the same area. It's not the same doing it with 3 faces than each face individually, as you can see. Okay, this is very useful when you need to create, for instance, holes. Like so, or maybe you can do it the other way. Okay, let's undo this. Now we want to see the bevel. The bevel, I'm going to show you 2 things. The bevel is, for instance, you can select one edge or several edges. Click the bevel button, and it will bevel the edge. There's no no other explanation. Here in the top bar, you can select how many segments you want for the bevel, and also if you do it with shortcuts, the shortcut is Ctrl B for bevel, and while you are sliding the mouse, you can scroll up or scroll down, and it will add more loops or less loops. Scroll up with the mouse scroll button, or scroll down and click. It's the same as this one, but directly with the mouse. Next one, loop cut. Another thing about the bevel I forgot is this. This is really important. If I have a plane, for instance, I have a plane, I'm going to make an extrusion. Like so. And if you want to, if you select an edge and you select the bevel button, the bevel tool, it's going to create like a strip, like a I'm going to reduce the segments so you can see it better, like so. Okay, so this is really useful when you need to add gaps or those little product lines, the surface when you have a product and one part of the product almost intersect with another part of the product. is very useful for that. And then you can again use extrude and you can create like that gap between those two parts of the product. All right, what else? Loop cut. The loop cut is, I want to show you with you can click and it will add a loop depending where I have the cursor. If I move the cursor over this edge, it will add an edge in the other way, and if I place the cursor over this other edge, it will do it in the other way. Also, if you do it with shortcuts, the shortcut is Control R. It will give you the option to add the loop cut, and also you can slide the edge loop wherever you need it, like so. Okay. What else? Knife. The knife is the most free tool. You can cut or add vertices wherever you want, and at the end just press enter and it will cut the mesh like so. This is a really useful tool, but keep in mind that this tool is adding endguns. Remember to go back to selection button so you can select the faces. This adds endguns. The endguns are polygons with more than 4 sides, with more than 4 edges. And for instance, in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges. This is an endgun because it has more than 4 edges. You need to be a bit careful with this because it will produce some artifacts when modeling, with the shading and with the different steps of modeling. Even if you need to use the cut, you can use it, but at the end you will need to do whatever it needs to keep the 4 sides in all the polygons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we have. So that's it, and the same for the rest of the mesh. Okay, so that's it. We're going to start now modeling one part of the weapon. I forgot to show you these little buttons right here. Here you can switch to wireframe so you can see through the mesh, and with this button you can go to solid view, and it's easier to visualize the volume of the surface. And here you can change from different views. Okay, that's it. Let's start doing one of these pieces. The first thing you're going to need is a reference. So here I have this weapon, the Halo weapon reference. I'm going to download this image. There you go. Go to Blender, and here we're going to add that image as a reference so we can model over the reference. So go to File. I'm sorry, that's the older way. Press Shift A, image and reference. I'm going to select the downloads folder and let me look for the reference. Here it is, load reference image, and here we have the reference. I want to scale it up. It's a bit back. So you're going to have the reference like so. I'm going to move this model to the side. That okay. So the benefits of using Shift A image reference is that here you can model over the over the reference, and if you switch to wireframe mode, you will be you're going to still able to see the reference. If you use another type of images, you won't. So this is very useful for reference images. So I'm going to model the grip. I want to enter to edit mode. I added the plane with Shift A, mesh, plane. Okay. Then I move it right here. I go to edit mode. I enter to edit mode. I want to select the select box tool, and here I want to scale it with S, G for grab, R for rotate, and I'm going to match more or less the size of the grip. Click, click, and G, click, and G, click, G, click. Okay. So this is the width of the grip, and now I'm going to add some edge loops because the grip has a little bit of shape, right? It's not like a plane. It's a bit round. Okay, so I'm going to add edge loops. I could use the button, or I could use the shortcut. I'm going to we already used the buttons, so now I'm going to show you with the shortcuts. Control R, and here you can press with click, so we can create an edge loop here. Control R, click, maybe around here, Control R, around here, Control R, click, and Control R, like so. And now if we see the surface in perspective, you're going to see that it's a plane with edges. So now we need to add a bit of roundness. So we're going to select these edges with Shift and click. Then I'm going to move them a little bit outwards, like so. And now I'm going to deselect these ones with Shift and click, move it a little bit outside, like so, and maybe a little bit more for this one, like so. This will depend on the shape of your weapon. Here we have the section of the weapon. I'm going to adjust a little bit here. Okay. So now we need to continue modeling the grip. So I'm going to select, for instance, the edge loops, and I'm going to extrude this up, maybe like so. Here I can again go to selection mode, to vertex selection mode. I'm going to adjust this because the grip is a bit narrow. All right, I select everything again with the box. Okay, and if you want to extrude, the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut is E for extrude, E, and here we can extrude the section like so, and here we're going to adapt the vertices to the grip. There we go. Here we're going to extrude, make another extrusion something like this. Here is going to be the same. Maybe we can make it like so. I'm trying to keep the edges at the same level. And here we have like a hole. So to close the hole, select one edge, select the other edge, press F, and now we have the face. Again, select these faces, press extrude, and here we're going to move the vertices again. Everything is the same. So here's a little situation with the curves, because you need to adapt like a set of faces with curves. So this is one way to do it. I'm going to keep extruding this so we can see how it's going to be. Again, extrude, move, click here, maybe a little bit lower, and again extrude, R for rotate, click and drag, click and drag, E for extrude, sorry, and another E for extrude, and that's it. Okay, and here we need to start adjusting with F. There we go. And here we are. I want to add another. This is a triangle, so it's not the best situation, but we could, for instance, make a cut here with loop cut, and then we could add a fourth side. And here, what we can do is move this a little bit to the right, a little bit. There we go. And we can add another edge loop right here, so everything is going to be a little bit cleaner with the topology. Remember, I'm using a lot of shortcuts. I press a lot the button G, so I activate the graph. Okay. So here no, I don't like that. Maybe we could add So I'm going to do it like so for now, and maybe later we're going to make it cleaner. I want to distribute a little bit these vertices. G grab, click, and so on. Okay, so now we have like a part of the grip with a little bit of shape. And now what we need to do is to check the place of the position of the vertices. it looks like more or less like they are okay, but this is a little bit wrong, so I'm going to move it a little bit outside. Okay, so maybe something like that. And now the shortcut to enter to wireframe mode is shift and set. You go to solid view, from solid view, and to wireframe, solid wireframe. And now we need to make an extrusion here, so we can select, for instance, these edges. I'm going to extrude like so, because we have like a little bit of roundness also here, so we're going to need a set of edge loops here, and then I'm going to extrude it to the end. I go to vertex selection mode. We're going to arrange these vertices so they are aligned with the reference, and here we need to do the same. So again, select the edges. I'm going to select this one and not the last one, because here I'm going to press F and close the gap, something like this. And now with edge selection also we can rotate and going to vertex mode. Maybe this is gonna be a little bit closer. There we go. And at the end, select the 4 vertices, or 2 edges is the same, and press F and you're ready. That's it. And now we need to close this kind of hole, right? So let's try to close it. Okay, so Control R, we could add like an edge loop from about there. Another Control R, click 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to see how we can close it. For instance, we can extrude one of these edges, so it's going to be easier to imagine how to close everything. We can align this with this one, so we can imagine that this is going to close some way. Edge selection mode, click and shift click F, 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 and that's it. Also here you can do it in another way. You can create the first face and then select this edge, and if you press only F, it will close it automatically. So here we can press F, and here we can check if everything is okay. Here we have a triangle. This is not the best situation. The best situation is only quads, right? But later on you can adjust it. It's nothing apocalyptic. Well, now we're going to adjust the position of these vertices, because they are in the wrong position. So I'm going to select all these faces. Also, you can select with the circle selection. You can activate it with the C, and this circle will appear, and here you can click and drag and you can select all the things you need. At the end, press escape or right mouse button, and that's it. So now I'm going to move not this one or not this one. I'm going to move all this backwards so I can reproduce a little bit the same shape as the reference. Okay, so we have this difference. Okay, and we need to move, I think we need to move this one also. Okay, this one, and this one. So it needs to be at the same position as this one. So here what we can do is select one vertex, activate the magnet. We're going to magnet one vertex to another vertex. This is like the it's like using a magnet with things made of iron. We're going to activate the move tool. Here you can click in the over the red arrow, so you can move the vertex only in that axis, and while you are pressing the vertex, move the cursor over the other vertex, and when you see the circle, the orange circle, that means that the magnet is copying the position in the x-axis of the other vertex, right? So as you can see here, they are in the same position in the x-axis. Here I'm going to do the same. Okay, and here we have all in the same position. Okay, we're going to yes, we're going to move them a little bit to the back because of the roundness of the grip. Something like that. And this maybe a little bit also. C for circle select. Scroll up to increase the size of the circle, and here you can select everything really quickly. Escape, and then move it a little bit to the back. And here we could align them with this vertex. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to adjust these ones so it will have like the shape we saw earlier. No. With click and Control Shift, you can select the shortest path from one selection to the second selection. This is really useful. And now you're going to create this part right here. Select one edge, Control Shift the last one, extrude. Reposition all the vertices. here we can align the vertex with this other vertex. There we go. We're going to push them back. Magnet. We're going to align them with the other vertices. Well, in this case, all the vertices are in different positions in the x-axis. That's not good because this grip is going to be over the metallic part, and this must be flat. So to make these vertices flat, one thing you can do is scale it in the x-axis 0 and enter. So that's like aligning everything manually. This part has a little bit of it's a little bit curved, so I'm going to add a loop with Ctrl R. There we go, and I'm going to move it a little bit to the back. Okay. So here we have a part of the grip. We need to do the same for the rest. It's almost the same. So extrusion, move the vertices, select everything, extrusion, and so on. Okay. In this case, this will be curved, so one thing you can do is select this edge and try to copy the shape of the reference, something like this. There we go, and then extrude, 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 and then you need to align these vertices with this one, because it will have other position in the x-axis. So here you could, for instance, activate the magnet, select the vertex, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Edge selection mode, select two edges, F, select two edges, F, or you can select this one, F, this one, F, and here we're going to need more edges. So we can press Ctrl R and make something like this, and try to close this. F, F, F. Okay, so we need another one here. F, F, F. So everything is they are all quads. Okay, what else? The rest is the same. You need to keep extruding and copying the shape. It's going to be the same, right? I'm not going to do it because it's all going to get bored, but it's all, everything is the same. Okay, so let's see how to do the holes for the bolts. So one thing you can do is add a loop cut like so, a loop cut like so, and maybe here we could add another yeah, we could add another loop cut, because we could use the knife with K. You can activate the knife, press in the here, and you can keep cutting the mesh until the end. There we go. And here we have in this situation also we could do the same. No, maybe it's enough with this amount of geometry. Here what I would do is maybe we could reduce one of these edges or distribute them a little bit more, because it's quite too much amount of edges, and I don't like this. Maybe we could reduce one of these and distribute. A good recommendation is to use the lower amount of vertices to reproduce the shape, because when you add a lot of polygons, it will be really difficult to keep the mesh clean and smooth. So it's easier to control a fewer amount of vertices than a lot. Really important. Okay, so I'm going to show you with this bolt how to make a circle here. So select all these 4 faces. You can create an inset, then you can activate an add-on that comes with Blender. When you install Blender, it comes with Blender. Go to Edit, Preferences, and go to Add-ons, and here you can type Loop, and you're going to filter the add-ons, and mesh loop tools will appear, and here you can enable the add-on. That's it. And now if you press right click button, this new tool will appear, and here you can select circle, and it will turn the selection into a circle. So it's really useful for this kind of situations. That's it. And now select everything, and we're going to make an extrusion. So here we need to improve the surface, because this is not right. It's gonna be wrong. So we need to, for instance, align this with the other vertices, like so. This one with this one, and this we can move it. Also, this one is really outside. The same for this one. Okay. If you don't fix this, you're gonna find a lot of imperfections in the surface. So it's very important to be very careful with this little imperfections. Okay, so we have this prepared for the extrusion. So for the extrusion, and select the 4 faces. Press E for extrusion. Remember, this is the extrude tool. E, and you can create the like the hole for the for the bolt. So here we have the grip. There we go. So now we're going to, when you're gonna need to close this. You need to add the width of the grip. Okay, it's not a plane, right? It has width. But suppose you did everything. Okay, you did everything. Here you need to close this. Okay, so this is just to show you. You can select all this, or when you have everything done, you can select the loop, extrude with E, press X, so the extrusion is only in the x-axis, and then you have the width of the grip. Then you need to close this, so maybe you can extrude, I don't know, maybe like this, and you can scale it in x0, so you can align them. You can activate the magnet, click in the red arrow, move over one vertex, select two edges, press F, and you can close this. Everything is the same. F, so that's the grip. Maybe it's not so, the width is a bit lower, but the idea, that's the idea, right? Okay, so now when you have all the grip done, you can go to the modifiers and add a modifier to increase the polygons, so you can see the model smoother. So I'm going to add a modifier. The modifier is subdivision surface. This modifier subdivide each polygon in two directions, vertically and horizontally, and also by default smooth the surface. This modifier does both things. It subdivides and smooth the surface by default. Okay, by default. So here we can decide how many times it will subdivide each polygon. Remember when we used the edge loop tool, that you can like add an edge loop in one direction and in the other direction. Okay, so this modifier do the same but automatically, and we can, with this option, levels or render, depending on if you are working in the viewport or you want to set up how many subdivisions you need for rendering. You can do it only just pressing this button, and you can increase the subdivisions or decrease the subdivisions. So I want to show you with an example. Here, if you have a plane, and if you press Ctrl R, you subdivide it vertically. If you press Ctrl R and do it in this direction, you subdivide it horizontally. So each time you press the button of subdivision levels, it will do this. With one polygon, it will end with 4 polygons for each level. So if you do it, for instance, 4 times, it will be like this: 4 and 4. The difference with the subdivision surface is that you can enable it. You can enable the modifier, or you can disable the modifier. So you can work with the low subdivision model. It's easier to work, but at the end you will have the roundness and the smoothness of a really polished surface. That's why we use the subdivision surface. The next problem with the subdivision surface, or the next step doing the mesh of each part of the hard surface model is adding the creases, because when I add the subdivision surface, you're going to notice that this is really round, and I'm losing the creases. I'm losing the sharp corners. So to improve that, we need to go to edit mode, select which edges are going to be sharper, or say sharper. For instance, these ones. I want to turn off this so I can see better. Maybe like this. Well, the whole. Okay. The whole. That's it. And what else? Here. This edge is gonna be sharper. Maybe this one also, and this one also. For instance, you can do it the entire loop. This is only to show you how it works. Now, open this panel. You can open it with pressing over the arrow, or you can press also N in the keyboard, N. And in the first tab item, remember the first tab, you need to be in edit mode. If you are not in edit mode, you're not going to see these options. This option, and here you're going to see mean crease. All right, mean crease. Mean crease is it works with the subdivision surface modifier, and when you have edges selected, when you increase this parameter, it will make the edges sharper. So I'm going to activate I'm going to enable the subdivision surface, and I'm going to show you how the surface is getting sharper. Okay, so that's it. So which is the benefit of doing this? You can work with a low poly version. It's very easy, but with the subdivision surface, you will see it with very smooth, very polished, and so on. Also here you can increase so that's it. The same is for everything. Okay, so for everything. Let's practice with another object. Okay, here you need to place the vertices a little bit, push front. You need to push a little bit to the front, because there's like a little bit of like an imperfection in the surface. Okay, but that's only time. You need to adjust the position, and that's it. For instance, let's do the barrel. Right, this is easier than the grid, so I'm going to add a cylinder. There we go. I'm going to activate the wireframe mode, Shift Z, or you can press this button, enter to edit mode. There we go. R for rotate 90 degrees. I press 9 and 0 in the keyboard, enter, and scale it with S, G. Here you can move it in object mode, so the pivot point moves with the cylinder, and enter edit mode again and scale it with S. Select vertex selection mode, click and drag, move it to the left, and this is the base of the barrel. And here, for instance, okay, I have this reference. I'm going to move it a little bit backwards without the magnet. All right, okay. And as you can see, the cylinder is not exactly where it should be. We should model everything in the X position 0, because I have the grip here, I have the barrel here, so it's like a mess. So here just you can go to the side panel item, and here in the X position you can press click and then type 0, enter, and it's exactly in the middle of the scene, in the X-axis. And with the grip also you can move it a little bit closer to the cylinder, but the grip is going to be, it's not going to be in the middle, okay, in the center. Now we want to add a little bit of details to the cylinder. Go to edit mode, is face selection mode, select select this face, and here we can use the inset, the extrude, and so on. For instance, we could use the bevel. Let's try the bevel. We didn't use the bevel yet, so I'm going to try the bevel. I want to move it a little bit to the left. The bevel is Control B. Bevel is this one. Remember, bevel, Control B. Something like this. I'm going to move it a little bit to the left, and here we have the bevel. Now we need to add some space so the bullet can go out. So I'm going to say the end gun. This is an end gun. Here we can use the inset, because we need to add like a ring around the cylinder, so we can extrude the face inside. If you don't make the inset and you extrude the polygon, it's going to be a little bit weird because it doesn't have width. So I'm going to add an inset and then extrude. And I think maybe we have like a little bit of I don't know how to say it, but I'm going to show you directly. Control R. For instance, if you want to add like a little line, like maybe you want to simulate the intersection of two shapes, you can add a line with Control R, bevel with Control B, and then you can extrude this to make a little bit of this, something like this. But the problem using the extrude in this situation is you're not going to be able to do it perfectly round, as you can see. Okay, so in this situation, what you can do is go to the extrude button. Here we can use the extrude along normals, and now you can extrude like this. There we go. That's it. And now again, I'm going to add the subdivision surface, a couple of subdivisions. This problem is because we have an end gun here, so one way to fix it really quick is adding an inset and then another inset, so you can fix it like that. Also, you can, if you don't want to be this so round, you can add a loop cut and do like so. Here we have the same problem with an end gun, so we can make an inset and another inset, and there we go. And if you want to sharp edges or mark the creases, we can select the creases. I want to turn off the extrusion surface so I can see the edges better. And there we go, and go to crease. I'm going to, the crease goes from 0 to 1. 1 is like a knife, so I'm going to set it as 0.7 maybe, and there we go. We need to do the same with this one, and that's it. That's the barrel of the cannon. Okay, what else? We can make the trigger. Okay, so let's do the trigger. Shift A, I'm going to add a plane. Here is the plane. R for rotate, Y because I want to rotate it only in the Y axis. Also, you could change the rotation with the side panel, Y 90, and that's it. There we go. I want to position this in X position 0, location 0, 0. All right. There we go. Enter to edit mode, scale it, and here we can match the width of the trigger like so. Edge selection mode, and here we can extrude, vertex selection mode, and we are going to reproduce a little bit this curve of the trigger. That's it. And here we're going to do the same. I'm going to extrude it like so. And here we can do different things. I want to try to do it this way as a first attempt. If everything goes well, there's not going to be any problem. With 1, 2, and 3, you can change from vertex selection to edge selection to face selection. 1, 2, 3. Here we can move this, adjust the position like so. I'm going to turn off the magnet. With Shift Tab, you can turn off the magnet. Okay. And here we need to create like the a little bit the depth. So maybe we can, let me see, maybe we can extrude this. F, and here we can extrude this edge, F, and to close this, extrude, and select these two edges and F, and that's it. So we have like the basic shape of the trigger. If you want to align this, you can also S, press S in the keyboard, then Y, in my case 0, enter, and everything is aligned now. If you would like to close this, also you can do this, and so on. Okay, I want to align a little bit these vertices. Okay, now we have a plane but with the silhouette of the trigger. Okay, so what are we going to do is select everything with A. With A you can select everything, A. Also, if you don't remember the shortcuts, you can go to select, and here you have the different shortcuts for select, all, and invert, and so on. We're going to add the width of the trigger, like so, maybe a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to delete all these faces because we're going to use the mirror modifier. You don't need to do the both sides. To do both sides, you can do only one side and then mirror the object. Okay, so now I'm going to select this one, these faces, because like so. And now we're going to make, maybe we can do an inset, and then we can make an extrusion backwards, something like this. Okay, well, I'm going to add the solution surface, so let's see how it looks. It will look really weird because we need to add the creases. So at selection mode, alt and click, alt and shift click, so we can add those loops to the previous selection. Alt, shift, and click. I'm looking for a screen, how I can overlay the which buttons I'm pressing. If you know any, please recommend me, please. Okay, something like this. We need to add these ones, increase also, and I think maybe that's enough. Okay, crease, we're going to try a 0.7, enable the solution surface. We're going to increase solution levels. This is a bit weird. I'm going to change. This is not, you're not going to see this part of the model because it's behind another part, but you can twist, you can adjust it anyway. And you can add here a crease, and also here. So let's add the mirror modifier. Add modifier, mirror, and as you can see, it's not working as we expect. The object is crossing over the other and it's not working right. So why is this happening? Why is this happening? This is happening because the mirror modifier works with the pivot point, and the pivot point is not exactly in the symmetry of the object. The symmetry of the object will be, for instance, the position of this edge or all these edges, right? And the pivot point is here, so it's going to mirror from here to the other part of the space, from here to the right, or here for the other, etc., etc. So the first thing we need to do is to add the pivot point, change the pivot point to be in the symmetry of the object. So we know that this edge is placed in the symmetry of the object. So select the edge, and now press Shift S, and with Shift S you can place the cursor, the 3D cursor, to the selection. I'm going to activate the 3D cursor because I turned it off because it's a bit annoying sometimes. That's the 3D cursor, and now you can you need to go to object mode, that, there we go, and again press Shift S, no, sorry, go to object, set origin. The origin is the same as the pivot point, and we want to move the origin to the 3D cursor. That's it. So now the pivot point is exactly in the same place as the cursor, and the cursor were in exactly the same place as the symmetry of the object. And now if I enable the mirror, it will do it better than before. There we go. We have the mirror, the mirror for the trigger. That's it. There's another problem also. Why? Because if you turn on the x-axis, it won't match as we would expect, because these axes are from the local position of the object, not the global position. So if you select, in this option you select local, you're going to notice that the object was transformed, was rotated in object mode. So now the local axis were rotated. So if I press X, it works fine, but it's a bit annoying for us because we need to use another axis different than the global axis. If you want to fix that problem, you can do it this way. You can select the object, press Ctrl A, and choose rotation. Now the rotation is set again to 0, and if you press X, it will mirror the object as you would expect. Okay, why? Because the local axes are the same now as the global axis. And here we have the trigger. So the same is for everything. I hope this could be useful, so you can learn how to model things. So now we can model this one. So you can see another example. I'm going to add, for instance, in this case, we could add a plane. This is like we can go to edit mode, Control R, and escape to create an edge loop exactly in the middle of the mesh. And now we can select everything, move it up to the top. Here we're going to model only one side of the mesh, so we can erase this face. I'm going to add an edge loop with Ctrl R, something like this. and here we see we're going to see that here it's going to have a flat surface, then we have this diagonal, and then it's flat again. So this edge I'm going to snap it to the middle of the object like so. Turn off again the magnet, and now go to the side view, extrude again, select the edges. I think this is a little bit I think it's too wide, so I'm going to decrease a little bit in this axis. Okay, and now select these edges again. I'm going to copy, extrude, and extrude. Select these vertices, G, set, select these edges, G, set, and G, Y. So this is the basic shape of this piece, okay, of this part of the gun. This gun has a little bit of thickness, this part of this object, but it's really recommended to create first the shell and then add the thickness. It's easier to model things. So here we have a little part of this part is round, so maybe we could let me see, maybe we could add a loop cut like so. And another loop cut like this, and here we can maybe make it a little bit so we can adjust the position of the vertex. Maybe this could work. So here we can also use the inset. So select faces, select this face, press inset, and here we can adjust the position of these edges because I think the button is a little bit lower. So in this situation, for instance, you could grab this and move it, but the problem with that is that it's very difficult to maintain the position of the edge in the same surface. It's very difficult. So to fix that, what you can do is press G and then press G again. So if you do that, you're going to slide the edge over the position of the other edges, as you can see. Can you see there? It's moving the edge around or through the other edges. So I'm going to put it something like this. Here we can delete this polygon, and we can align with the magnet, so it's aligned with the middle of the object. Also here, this face, for instance, is a little bit it's too long. It's not a good idea to have these situations, so maybe it could be a good idea to make a loop cut and do it this way, right? I want to delete also this one. I don't remember if this goes inside or not. I really don't remember, but let me see. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that, and here you can extrude with the set in the set axis. Here we can delete this. There we go. And we need to add the thickness of the object. So to add the thickness of the object, you can do it manually, the same way as we are doing everything right now. Extrude, and here we can, for instance, press F. I don't like it too much. Yeah, maybe we can move this so it's aligned with the other one, like so, and this also, this one also. Okay. Let's try again. You can select this edge, press F. And now if we want to do this a little bit cleaner, we can add a loop right there. And here we can extrude this vertex only. Attention, this vertex only. Set, we align it with this one, with the magnet. Select two edges, press F, and we can do the same for this. Turn off the magnet with Shift Tab, select one edge, select the other edge, F, and here we go. In this situation is closed. Okay, we could select, for instance, we could select these faces. We could make an inset and then extrude inside and erase these faces, so we have like the thickness of the object, right? So we don't need to do exactly as I can do it as I am doing it right now. Also, you could do something like this. And then you can extrude it inwards. You don't need to do everything if it's not going to be seen in the game. Okay. Well, it would be the same for the rest of the object, right? I forgot to select this one. F. Here you can align this one with this one, and so on. G and Y. G and Y. I have the magnet tool activated. And here will be the same. Okay. I'm not going to do it because everything is the same. And here what you can do to create the thickness is to select everything, make an inset, and then you can extrude it inwards, and then you can delete what you won't need. for instance, all these pieces. Then you can select all these edges, S, X, 0, and you can position this to 0, and there we go. Then you can add the mirror modifier. Then you can add the subdivision surface. And then you can add the creases, and so on, so on, so on. As always. This one. All these edges, all these edges. Like so. 0.7. We need to add also a crease right here. I think it's too much. C for circle select. Middle mouse button. You can deselect with the circle selection tool. And there we go. Okay. 0.7. Enable the subdivision surface. Also we need to alt click and set up the creases inside of this part. Main crease 0.7. Enable the subdivision surface. We're going to add another crease here. 0.7. And we need to add also creases here, I think. 0.7. And there we go. This is the same. We need to adjust. Maybe we can add a crease. A crease here, so it's sharper. And so we need to add a crease here. Okay. So something like that. Okay. So here we have the approximately the same object. Let's see in the top view. Okay, I think it's a little bit location 0. Okay, I think it's a bit wide. I think it should be a little bit like this, like this. And these vertices we can move them a little bit. So I think that's better. So I hope it could be useful. We made these three parts. We could make the entire weapon. I think it's not necessary. I think the idea is to understand how to do the things, how we can use really simple tools to model things, and to think how we can make the surfaces. For instance, the grip, we made a plane. With that plane we make like the section of the grip. Then we started to extrude them up and down. The trigger also, we started with the plane. Then we extrude the entire trigger. With the barrel, we started with the cylinder, and we made a bevel, we made an inset, we made an extrusion, and that's it. With this piece, with this part of the weapon, we started also with the plane. We added a couple of loops, of edge loops, solution surface, creases, and you're done. Another important thing is you need to add first the mirror and then the solution surface. First the mirror and then the solution surface. Why? Because if you add the solution surface first and then the mirror, maybe you're going to find a little bit of imperfections in the symmetry plane of the object. So keep that in mind. Okay, please let me know if this is useful for you, and let me know if you want to if you want me to do another parts of the weapon, or please let me know if this was useful for you to model these parts of the object live with errors, with the so we made this parts of the weapon. I hope this could be useful. Let me know what do you think about modeling these parts of the weapon, and see you next time.